Hey there, health enthusiasts, juice lovers, and you who are considering ways to juice up your health. Tune in today on this RHEB3L podcast. I, along with my co-host Waylon Kearney, will take a dive into the world of juicing, and we're going to talk about the amazing benefits for your well-being. Join us as we take a journey to discover the power of fruits and vegetables unlocked through juicing. Whether you're a seasoned juicer or just dipping your toes into the world of liquid nutrition, we've got something for you. We will take a hands-on approach to demonstrating how to juice, our favorite things to juice, and explore some of the science behind juicing to debunk common myths and uncover the incredible health benefits it can offer. From boosting your energy and immunity to improving digestion and supporting weight management, we'll show you how juicing can become a powerful tool for optimal health. So, grab your favorite glass and a juicer if you have one, because we're about to squeeze out all of the goodness from fruits and veggies and pour it straight into your life. Get ready to be amazed by the transformative power of juicing today on the RHEB3L podcast. Welcome to the RHEB3L podcast today. My co-host has convinced me that this is the best time of the year to introduce juicing up your health. And that's because this is Waylon, in case all of you didn't meet Waylon yet, Waylon Kearney. Waylon had gotten COVID, and after COVID, you were telling me you felt a little foggy with your memory?
Yeah, I had the COVID brain fog that a lot of people get, and I just couldn't remember. I could be in mid-sentence and I couldn't remember the next word, or I wouldn't remember people's names, which isn't unusual for me, but it was happening a lot more often. And one of the things that I tried and that worked for me was juicing.
Yeah.
For instance, or for example, celery juice helps with your memory, with your short-term memory and improving your memory. And they say that your brain health and your memory, it starts in your gut.
Yes.
So juicing is a great way of improving your gut health and your overall health.
I believe that, and I just want to point out for people who like to read and want to back up everything with science, right, and medical evidence, a couple of books I've had for probably 10, 15 years now are these two books. And the reason I brought them up here is because they're written by medical professionals. This one is by Frank Liptman. He's an MD. And this one here is written by Robin Openshaw, and she's a nutritional enthusiast, and she does a lot of wonderful seminars and programs. But these books, along with many others that you can go out and buy, will substantiate everything that we're going to talk about today. And I'm just going to bring up a couple of misconceptions, because when you go to the health food store or even the local grocery stores, you'll see a lot of protein powders.
Yeah.
And I tried protein powders and they made me really ill. So here's what the doctor has to say about protein powder. This is just an example they give you good sources for protein, all right? And the good sources are pea protein, brown rice protein, hemp protein, another use for hemp, vegan protein blends, whey protein, nuts and seeds. My body craves nuts and seeds, so I think, that's what I do for most of my protein. But here's what to avoid, and I know this will be controversial because a lot of people think any kind of protein powder that contains soy is some kind of magic bullet, right? How many times have you seen soy protein pushed?
Oh, all the time.
Yeah. So soy proteins are fairly hard to digest unless it's been fermented. And when I say fermented, the examples here are tempeh, and miso. Those are acceptable. But much of soy found on the market today is derived from a GMO. Yeah, so they're genetically modified foods. So these crops that are GMO are altered genetically and foreign to your body. So when you eat it, drink it, digest it, put it in your body, another thing to keep in mind about soy is that it contains phytoestrogen that can mimic estrogen in the body. It also contains goitroestrogens that can cause thyroid imbalances. So for all of these reasons, you won't find soy milk or any proteins in this recipe book, okay? Also, they tell you to stay away from any powders with high levels of fructose or endless ingredients that you can't pronounce. Because listen, if you can't pronounce it, it's probably not too digestible. So I would definitely stay away from the protein powders and go with the good proteins. And then as we move on here, we're going to talk about the power of green. So you see these are a lot of green vegetables, and then we'll also talk about fruit. So Waylon, what's one of your favorite smoothies or juicing that you like to do?
Well, the one that I do nearly every day, I do a mix of celery, beet, and carrot juice. And in talking about like a lot of the benefits of that, they do do a lot of the same things. They're full of antioxidants, and they have anti-inflammatory properties.
Which is really important.
Right, for your overall health. Inflammation is the cause of a lot of maladies and disease in the body.
And heart problems.
Right, and it can also
kill you.
Yeah, it can lead to cancers and pretty much any kind of disease that you can think of is sometimes, or most of them have a root in inflammation. But celery will help you clear your skin. It's been found to clear acne. A lot of that is based on the health of your digestive tract too.
Right.
And in removing toxins from your body and sugars and things like that.
Correct.
So
the other thing I want to mention, there's also foods that give you more sex appeal.
Oh yeah.
So I just want to point out, I hope this isn't altering your flow here.
No.
But this celery is one of the foods that has these wonderful attributes of pheromones that when you digest it, you intake it and digest it, it makes your body chemistry smell sexually attractive. And it gives you a nice smell, is the way I would put it.
Yeah, and there are a lot of pheromone based perfumes and colognes and things like that now. So, and they're pretty expensive. So you can do the same thing
naturally,
and it'll be your own natural pheromones.
The thing we don't want to put in here is asparagus.
Right.
Because asparagus has the opposite effect. The pheromones from the asparagus actually make you smell like a skunk. So you don't want to do that if you're getting ready to go out on a great date.
Right, yeah. I wouldn't suggest that.
Right.
Carrots, the benefits of carrots, they contain a lot of potassium and vitamin C. They'll help you boost your immunity with the vitamin C. It improves eye and skin health. So a lot of people know, eating a lot of carrots helps with night blindness.
Oh, yeah. I need to do that then.
Yeah, and it's filled with antioxidants. And the other thing that if you overdo it is not so great, but carrots, they contain keratin, which makes your skin produce kind of an orange glow. So if you do it in moderation, the keratin can give you a carrot tan.
Right.
Which is healthy and also prevents sunburn too. So.
By the way, that's a real thing. I used to have a friend, and she was actually in the military. So she was very, very keen on nutrition and working out. Anyway, we had a conversation one day. I noticed that her skin color was changing. And so she said, do I look really orange to you? I go, yeah, I wasn't going to say anything, but it's kind of scaring me because I'm wondering if you're okay.
Yeah.
She was literally eating 2 pounds of carrots every single day.
Wow.
And so what happened was, I think this was about a period of over 5 to 6 months. And she had been in Turkey and she had been in the Middle East on tours of duty. And so I guess they had lots of carrots wherever she was at. So she juiced with carrots and then she snacked on carrots and she turned orange. The good news is you can turn back.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The bad news is that you don't really, there's a point at which you go from a healthy, wonderful glow from eating these to going
to Cheeto territory.
Yeah. Don't be a Cheeto. No.
Yeah. So like I said, just do it in moderation, but it can help with your skin health, as far as preventing sunburn, and can give you that glow too. So the other thing is beet juice. I don't do beets every single day, just because they're kind of, they're a lot more work to cut up and all of that stuff. So, and I'm a little lazy. So.
Okay, so I know a lot of people probably don't juice because it looks like a lot of work.
Yeah, and it can be. Probably the most time-consuming thing is cleaning up afterwards.
Yeah.
But one tip I would give you is, so this thing collects all the pulp, the fiber. From what you're juicing. If you put a bag in there, like a Target bag or something like that, a store bag, you can just pull it out and
pitch it.
Yeah. And also another tip, use that stuff in your garden.
Yeah.
Because it creates amazing mulch. If you mix it with coffee grounds, it's incredible.
Incredible fertilizer.
Yeah.
Now, I got to tell you, there are so many different kinds of food processors out there. And I was really worried because these things look big, they look really complicated, and I'm always short on time. I don't care what it is, I'm short on time. You could give me 10 hours in the morning, I'd run out of time.
Yeah.
So the thing that I did, and what I'd recommend if you're a person that has very tiny time schedules, consider going and getting what they call the magic bullet. This is the top, and it comes with several tops, right? This just screws down on the base of it, and the thing is literally only that big. And it doesn't take the pulp out. So in my case, I just grind up everything and I drink it. And it's actually pretty cool because we don't get enough fiber as Americans.
Right, yeah.
That's the -- problem we have, which does affect your digestive health. And especially if you've had any colon problems or polyps or, disorders of that nature, fiber can be a very important thing too. This is the kind of elite juicer here that you've got. So explain how this juicer works.
Well, so basically it just shreds the whatever vegetable you put in here or fruit or whatever, and removes the juice, and then spits the fiber or whatever's left over into this thing. Juice comes out here. So yeah, it does. So to make a full jar or a full container of this, you will use a lot of carrots, a lot of celery, whatever you're using. So it does, because you're just getting the juice, it does take more vegetables or fruit to make that juice rather than using this.
Yeah.
But you get a higher concentrate of the benefits of whatever you're juicing in this.
So that's a very good point, because I looked at this and I thought, oh, well, I'll just put a little bit in there. And then I'm like, oh, I got to tweak this a little bit, right? I ended up with so much stuff. I was like drinking for breakfast 2 quarts. Okay. Yeah. Because remember, I get the pulp, I get the juice, I get the whole shebang. But I will tell you one thing. once I drank and juiced all of this up, I wasn't hungry for several hours.
Yeah, I imagine.
It really killed the food cravings.
Yeah, and depending on what you juice, like if you juice a lot of fruit, you may get like sugar cravings later on.
Yeah.
But with vegetables, you don't really get that sugar, high or that buzz where you may be hungry later on. It just fills you up and you feel great. Which is, I think, another thing we should talk about with juicing is that, a lot of, like we were saying, a lot of food can make you feel tired afterwards.
Yes.
Especially this time of year where you're eating huge holiday dinners and a lot of cookies and things of that nature.
Mashed potatoes, gravy,
pies, and
fruit cakes.
Yeah, and that's just a breakfast. So yeah. But with this, like you feel you have energy after you do it.
Right.
Yeah, you have, and it's like with beets, you can buy Beet Energy drinks or Beet Energy powders, because they've determined that beets provide a great amount of energy, just natural energy and stamina.
So what happens? I don't know if it's the blood type I have. I don't understand the chemistry, but every time I eat a beet, it tastes like dirt. It tastes like pure, like I went outside, picked up the dirt and stuck it in my mouth. So how do you counteract that here with this chemistry of mixing vegetables together?
Yeah, I mean, beets are kind of an acquired taste. They do have a certain amount of sugar in them. They're probably higher in sugar than carrots or celery. But if you still can't really take that taste, if you can't stand it, I would suggest adding apples.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Or you can add, a berry, and that'll add a little sugar, just a little something to help the medicine go down, I guess.
Yeah. In the most delightful way.
Right, but it's not processed sugar either that you're adding to it. If you're adding just an apple or whatever, so it's still healthy for you, but it does kind of mask that.
Here. What are you going to blend up for us or juice up?
I'm going to make your favorite. Beets.
I can't wait.
Beets. I'm using baby carrots this time just because it's easier to work with. And then I'm gonna use some celery too.
Excellent.
So
all of those things, the carrots and the celery, absolutely, I'm all about it. I just want to see how much the beets are going to get covered up.
Yeah, they're. I will say, I mean, when I use beets, I can taste the sugar. It adds a little sugar to it, natural sugar. But yeah, it's for some people it's just not great.
So one of the things I've noticed too, since you've been doing the juicing, you've lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, I have.
And you look amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, I've lost probably 20 pounds.
Wow.
Juicing, yeah. And I really noticed it in my face, which is
And
nice.
over what period of time do you think that's been?
It was probably over 2 or 3 months that I was doing it kind of every day, making a real habit out of it.
So you put in about a cup of carrots, and now you're going to put in
just a couple,
roughly a beet?
Probably half a beet there.
Half a beet? Okay.
Yeah. I'll probably have to do another pass too with the celery.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
you can't overload the machine or everything goes
that's not
the
good.
wrong direction.
Or else it won't even move.
Yeah.
I've had that happen before. So I'm going to start it up. It's going to be really loud.
Oh. Wow, looks like we killed somebody.
It's a little violent in there.
Yeah. Now we're going to put in the celery. Wow, it sounds like a saw.
I know. Like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So you can see
So I see all this pulp over here. And then I see, amazingly, coming out the other side through all the mayhem over here, because it sounds like a cross between a lawnmower and a saw. I see all this wonderful juice coming out, and it's so pretty, the color.
Yeah.
So like it's so festive for this time of the year.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like a cranberry juice. Or
so we can try a little bit. Do you want to have some too?
Sure.
So I'm going to try the beets, and I am really surprised I'm actually going to intake a beet. Actually, it's very delicious.
Good. Yeah, I think it's a little more carrot than.
I actually taste salt.
Oh, do you?
Isn't that strange?
Yeah, that is. I think when you juice things, they tend to taste different maybe than when you would just eat them, raw or cooked or whatever.
But you know what? This tastes very light, very fresh, and maybe with some ice.
Yeah,
Ooh, it would be amazing, like a slushie.
Right.
Wow. But this is very good.
Yeah, thank you.
I can see how when you start doing this, you would lose weight because you're not craving all of these other things that are high in fat or sugar.
Right.
Right? Because we do tend to eat a lot of fat, sugar, and salt to try to take care of our cravings.
Yeah, I mean, it puts you in a sort of a vicious circle when you're consuming those things all the time, because then you crave them all the time.
Right.
And, that leads to a lot of, sodium is really bad for your heart, for your vascular system.
And a cancer
Right.
problem. So I'm going to share what I do for juicing. And I believe there's all kinds of ways to juice. I like berries, and I probably need to take the berries and the greens and mix them a little bit more. But if anybody follows bodybuilding, anything to do with Arnold Schwarzenegger, there's a couple of berries that he really does admire, and I do too. And blueberries are very high in antioxidants. They would be very good with this as well. There's no reason why you couldn't add a little berry to that. It just depends on your taste and what you're about. But blueberries are a superfood. They are wonderful. Now, here's what Debra does. Debra likes malts with no calories. So I go to the store and I will buy I do vegetables and I do fruit. But specifically for my juicing, I will do this, or I will do red raspberries, or this other berry. All of these come frozen, and there's actually 2 little packets in here of these acai berries. Every one of these berries are absolutely high in antioxidants and other beneficial nutritional value. But I will take that, I will put the berries in here about halfway full, and then once that's in there, I will take sometimes I actually take sparkling water.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I'll put that in here, or I will drink a little bit of skim milk, nothing else, no heavy dairy. And skim milk I like because it has vitamins in it, but it doesn't have all the lactose and all the other stuff, right? So I will put that in here. So half with the frozen fruit, and then the other half with the liquid. And I screw it down on my bullet, and I press on it 30 seconds, and I have the most outstanding fruit malt ever. And I love it because it's refreshing when I'm hot, if I'm working out, if I'm outside in the garden. But it is also delicious because it doesn't taste dietary. It doesn't even taste healthy. You would swear that you're, taking in too many calories, right? But actually, these are very low calorie, very high in nutrition, and very high in antioxidants. Now, tell me something. How does your parents take to this, right? Did they think it's too much work, or what's their kind of take on it?
My mom has tried juicing. She's not as into it as I am. And my dad just thinks it's kind of silly because he likes just potatoes and meat. That's basically his Midwest
roots.
Yeah. So, but I think my dad hasn't really ever tried it. And I think if he tried it, he would like it, especially how it makes people feel. He's gotten into working out recently and going to the gym and things like that. And so I think this would be a great addition to that for him or anybody else.
Oh, 100%. Now, if you would like to add any of these berries to that you're more than welcome to do that. But I think the other thing that's really kind of fascinating here is how people think it takes so much time to do all of this, right? I think the worst part for me is just cleaning up. That's it.
Yeah, and it can take time. I mean, depending on what you're juicing, but like with your recipe and the way that you do it, I mean, what could be faster than that?
No, nothing. Yeah. It literally takes me walking over to the freezer, pulling it out, pouring it in, putting the water on it, and screwing it down and putting it on there. And I would say within 2 minutes, I have a wonderful, delicious malt, and that's my meal. It fills me up and I feel good.
Yeah.
And I do love, the other two things I do love that are green. I love kale. Kale is so good for you. Mm-hmm. And I love celery. So from time to time, when I have a couple of more minutes in the morning, I will take and chop off half of a celery head, and then I'll take a handful of kale and just throw it in there. And you can get this stuff all prepared. You don't have to like stand at home like you're, going out to the garden, harvesting it, bringing it in, washing it. No, you can really, if you think about it, you can get this down to 5 minutes or less. And there's nothing more fast food than that.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you're like energized and feeling healthy and happy.
Yeah, it's something that can be quick, that can also improve your health.
Just a couple of other notes. I'm going to post for our viewers. I'm going to post a couple of recipes that I have found to be very interesting. One is Dandelion Delight. Yes, you can actually take the weeds in your yard and do something productive with them. And then another one called Gobs of Goji. Now that goji berries are from the Himalayas and from Tibet, but they are loaded with antioxidants, they're loaded with fiber. But these are all things that will give you energy, clarity of thought, and
improve your memory.
Exactly. And if you're worried about the holidays and how you're going to fare, consider juicing so that maybe you won't have to go on the January, oh my goodness, I got to go on a crash diet mode, right?
Yeah, if you just do this in the morning, it can really change your whole season.
Excellent. Well, thank you. Thank you for all of this. And I can tell it's really working for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I love it.
Excellent. And I never thought I'd ever say this, but these beets are good.
Yeah. Good. Glad you like it.
Isn't it funny how the advice Mom always says to eat your vegetables is really good for you? Now here's a couple of great recipes you can enjoy to test out these green smoothies. First, Dandelion Delight, and then the second one we recommend is Gobs of Goji. Check them out, try them out in the Green Smoothies Diet book. And if you're a fruit lover, try some raspberries, acai berries, or blueberries for antioxidants. Thank you for watching the RHEB3L Podcast.